Welcome back to the Sick Podcast Anvil Show. We got plenty in store for you, including our breakdown of this week's upcoming matchup versus the Green Bay Packers. You don't want to miss it. Jimmy, get us started.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. And Bill Show.
Intercepted! Marlon Jackson! Marlon's got it! We're going to the Super Bowl! We're going to the Super Bowl! Marlon Jackson with the interception! He picked off Tom Brady!
The sickest Indianapolis Colts podcast. It's gonna be sick.
Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. You get to see us twice this week, which is a great thing because if you see us twice a week, that means football season's on. And without further ado, well, before we go any further, just got to go ahead and introduce the guy, because you already know me. I'm Chris Jackson, but my esteemed brethren next to me. I don't know if you know that we're related. You probably couldn't tell just based on the facial features, maybe certain follicles, but either way, like I said, you love him, you know him. Everybody say hello to Big P.
What's happening, everybody?
See, look, we love it. We love it. Look, that's what I like. That's how you know that we're a family-oriented podcast. All right, this is amazing. But yeah, so before we get into all the good stuff, let's just go ahead and just talk real quick, just about touchdowns, because Anthony Richardson threw a couple of them. We got to see him run in for one, but yeah, like touchdowns. I don't, depending on what you call it. I call it a tutty. You can call it taking it to the house. Whatever you call a touchdown, they matter more at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sportsbook sponsor, partner of the NFL. If you're ready to place your first NFL bet, try betting on something simple like a player to score a touchdown. This week, I really feel like AR to AD could be a thing in terms of getting their first touchdown, getting them on the same page. So if I could bet, I would bet on AD getting his first pitch or his first touchdown, anytime score. That's something that you can also bet on. So if you're ready to do a touchdown dance of your own, you can score big with DraftKings Sportsbook, the number one place to bet touchdowns. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code SICKSPORTS. That's SICKSPORTS. For new customers to get $250 in bonus bets when you bet just $5, and you get 1 month of NFL Plus Premium. That's how you're able to view all the extra NFL content, including some of the games as well. And you get 1 month free of that on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over, age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in New Hampshire, Oregon, and Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball. NFL Plus Premium offer available only to new and former NFL Plus subscribers. Additional NFL Plus Premium terms at nfl.com/terms.
All right.
Well, that was a fast one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was just like, oh, it's quick.
How the hell do people learn how to talk that damn fast? Like auctioneers and shit? That shit's always amazed me.
You'd be surprised on the East Coast, and I'm talking about like just being from like the New York, New Jersey area. You kind of get used to that because it's just like, especially New York, because New York is very like everything has to be fast paced. Just they talk about a New York minute. It's so that's very much a thing. So yeah, but either way, how you feeling? How are you feeling on this nice Thursday?
I'm feeling good. It's been a rough week, but a lot of the dumb shit's over, and we're moving forward. We're growing.
Yep.
And I'm ready for Sunday.
Absolutely.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty optimistic. It was I mean, as far as the team goes, I think we'll see exactly what shape the team is in after some of the news that we've gotten. I think Buckner said he's going to be a game time decision. We know they said that initially they said that Juju was going to be out for the entire season, but now they're saying mid-December, so we'll see. Um, and I mean, in terms of that, it's just like everything else is actually going pretty well. The weather stinks. Midwest weather is something that I've never been prepared for, and I feel like I'm generally prepared for a lot of things. So yeah, it's just like this Missouri weather. It's crazy when it's 83 degrees out and then you get a breeze that's about 60 just randomly just strolling through. It's like, oh, so you're just here to ruin my life right now. Like this is fantastic, but you know what? It's just like you got to grin and bear it, and make sure you have plenty of Dayquil and Nyquil. So either way, things work out.
Absolutely. Kevin, Teresa, Diamond, Dave, Daniel, Adam, J. What's going on, everybody?
What's going on, people? Good to see you. Great to have you. What's going on? I know everybody's tapping in. Just make sure that we get to everybody.
Teresa, what the fuck are you talking about? I still with my fingers and sleep with my eyes shut.
I we'll go with that.
Yeah,
We'll go with
okay.
that.
Way to go, lady.
Yeah, it's just
All right, my friend, we got some football to talk about.
yes, we do. Yes, we do. We got some football to discuss.
How you feeling about this upcoming game?
I like it. For me personally, so I like it for a couple different reasons. I know that I feel like if we were playing against Jordan Love, then it would have been a really good game. I think with Jordan Love being
Wait a
out,
minute, is that your phone?
oh Lord, oh
Can you
wait,
can you silence that? Because if that's not your phone, that's going to drive me nuts. It's
no,
like
no, no, that was
a
definitely my
smart a smoke alarm going off every
phone.
2 minutes.
but yeah, so with Jordan Love, I know it was probably going to end up being a battle. Just see what was going to happen. But with Jordan Love potentially being out, I think that gives us a chance to make this kind of like a more of a back on track game. Also, Green Bay's defense to me didn't necessarily look as dominant as we've seen them look before, with how much they gave up in the passing game and how they have Jair Alexander, who to me is, top 5 corner in the league.
Yeah.
So,
But how much they give up on the run game too?
oh yeah.
From what I'm seeing, Shaquan had his way with him.
Oh, he did. Absolutely, he did. And I mean, he had his way in the run game. He had his way in the receiving game. Like, I mean, honestly, he probably could have passed for a touchdown on them the way that they just were unable to stop him. So, honestly, I do feel like it's going to be a different type of preparation going in there. Against AR. Playing against this team that now is without their, $50 million quarterback.
Yeah.
So, I think there's a lot of cause for optimism. I think the only thing that worries me is just everybody just staying healthy. As long as we can walk out of this game unscathed, then we should be okay.
Okay. See, I got other concerns.
Uh oh.
Well, and they stem from the Houston game. Our run defense. Between I have to pull it back up, but between their 3 backs, they had almost 163 yards.
Yeah.
Joe Mixon had 159 on us.
Okay.
So with Malik Willis, I'm not going to say an unproven quarterback, but he's a lower tier quarterback.
Yeah.
At the moment, are they going to try to trick us and say, okay, we're going to beat you with his arm? Or are they going to follow Houston's suit and say, yeah, we can run on these guys? And if they say we're going to run on them, what has Gus Bradley done with that front 4? The front 7, whichever way you want to go with it, because the linebackers were getting hit too. And we talked about it Tuesday that our safeties had more tackles than anybody else on the team.
Yeah.
Which is acceptable. Which way they're going to go with it, I don't know. If they going to try to beat us on the ground, is Gus making the proper adjustments? That scares me.
Yeah, yeah, and I think to me that's understandable because if we're looking at what the team is supposed to be doing, they're not really like based on that Texas game. That's very scary. Now, for me, in my bubble of optimism, you're not going to play the pass the same way with Malik Willis that you have to play it with CJ Stroud.
Oh, definitely agree. Definitely
So
agree. But if they come out the gate with Malik throwing, that's going to change your game plan.
it is. It is. But the
And then
thing is,
they're going to try to start running all over us because we've changed our game plan.
yeah. And
So what do? Is Gus capable of adjusting his schemes on the fly like that? And so far, I haven't seen any adjustments. He sticks to his plan.
well, yeah. I mean, that's Gus Bradley. Gus Bradley is very much set in his ways. So that's why that makes that a little bit tougher. But I think when it comes down to it, too much of what we saw in that Texas game, and mind you, this is a Texas team last year that was able to be successful and be a team that was 10-7 without really having a run game. So ultimately, like I said, I think the goal was to make sure that you either slow down or stop CJ as much as possible. And by doing so, now you're looking at this team and you're seeing that, you know, the Texans went to the run because you can't afford to sell out strictly for the run. You're going to get beat one or two ways based on how our team is set up. And so the thing is, they beat us on the ground. So that's a given.
Yeah, but that is such horseshit because of who we have. I did not expect anybody to run all overs like Mixon did.
Well, they did exactly what they needed to do. I mean, the thing is, it's
They
just like
did.
they got past those first two levels, and then they put it on our cornerbacks and safeties to be the guys who were supposed to be tackling the way that the linebackers were supposed to.
I heard a scary stat, and this is me listening to, I think, an interview on Twitter or something like that. I don't remember where I heard it from, but they said that Mixon had a stat line of 4 yards before contact,
Yeah,
before first contact.
that makes sense.
That is horrible. That is horrible. You aren't going to win jack shit with stat lines like that.
Yeah,
And I'll bring this comment up from Adam J. He says Jacobs is a better back than Mixon.
yeah, but I don't see Green Bay being able to move the ball the way that the Texans were able to. And mind you, I'm not disagreeing. I do think
But
that
what
Josh
changed? What's changing for you to not see that?
because what you're also looking at is the fact that you're dealing now like CJ Stroud and we can agree on this. CJ Stroud, even with pressure, is still able to operate very, very well in the pocket.
And effectively.
Exactly. What about Malik Willis says that he is going to do the exact same thing?
We haven't seen it to say it, but he's at this level for a reason.
He is,
I'm
but
not going to take him lightly, and
I'm
and I
yeah.
I think we do ourselves a disservice if we take him lightly.
But that's the thing. I'm not saying we necessarily take him lightly, but I just don't think that we need to be looking at Green Bay as if they'll be able to operate and they'll be able to move the ball in the same way that the Texans were able to.
I hope they can't.
So now, like I said, the only thing that kind of scares me is how we will respond if for some reason it comes down to, seeing a team if Green Bay decides that they're going to play the same way like the Bengals and the Falcons did last year, where they throw a lot of screen plays, they throw a lot of underneath plays, like a lot of that, like that is what concerns me. If they decide to go short and they decide to kind of dink and dunk because of the fact
Okay.
that they're not trying to be risky by going deep and going after the deep ball frequently. So that's the thing that scares me. I think that scares me more than Josh Jacobs potentially running. Now, like I said, it's gonna be one of those games where you don't know what they're gonna throw at you because you know that with Jordan Love they were gonna try to pass as much as possible. So then at that point, the onus is gonna be on the secondary. But now you don't have him there, so you have Malik Willis who isn't able to pass the way that a Jordan Love is. So how do you kind of cover that up? And you make sure that you just go short. You go short more often than not. I could see Jacobs going out on screen plays. I could see them maybe throwing screens to some of those wide receivers and having them weave in and out of those tackles. Because another thing that we had issues with last year that is kind of been showing its head is the fact that our cornerbacks can't really tackle like that. And now we're going down to Kenny, Jalen Jones, and whoever else is going to play CB2 potentially.
Yeah, and if anybody's heard who's replacing Brent's, let me know because I have not heard anything yet. I have not seen the starting lineup.
Yeah,
So if anybody's seen it, throw it in the chat for me, please.
I don't know if they've released the unofficial depth chart yet, but I mean, I want to say I think it might end up being Walmack, possibly.
Yeah, could be. If Flowers was a healthy scratch last week, maybe Flowers.
But still, being a healthy scratch, knowing that we're going up against this team that is probably going to be passing a lot, to me, it's just like that's still not a good sign.
Yeah.
It's just it's tough to kind of work through like the thought processes of what you believe is going on as far as the team goes because like we're in this predicament where now we need cornerback help because Juju is out. He was supposed to be the guy where he's supposed to be healthy and he's supposed to be in there, doing what he needs to do, being our CB2, potentially being CB1, and then hopefully Kenny going into that nickel slot corner spot. But now it's just like we're kind of having to worry about who's going to be that guy that's going to step up now because seemingly it's going to be Jalen Jones, who I think got a lot of heat because of how much the Texans were still able to get in the passing game. But I mean it's going to be a tough outing because the secondary is going to be under fire no matter what.
Good.
I just think it's going to be a little bit. Matt LaFleur, if he comes out and he just decides that he's going to gunsling with Malik Willis all game, then that will be a very, very long day for both him and Malik Willis. But I could just see them going short and potentially running the ball, if anything, just to make sure that they keep the clock moving. But I mean, I could be wrong. I'm just trying to make sense
Yeah.
of it right now because I mean, like I said, Jordan Love not playing, it brings up a lot of question marks now. At least for our defense.
I'll agree. I'll agree 100% on that. And trying to scheme a quarterback you're not used to is going to make it a lot harder. And
Yeah.
and Clyde was real vocal last year about Gardner Minshew's better games was when he would come in and replace instead of being announced the starter because they didn't know how to scheme against them.
Yeah.
And those were very valid points, and I seen them. I seen exactly what he was talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe this is one of those cases. I hope not.
Yeah. I mean, there's always a little bit of an element of surprise. I mean, I think you have, and ironically, I mean, I think you have some game film on Malik Willis from when he played against Green Bay. I think it was last year or the year before last.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, it's just like it's a very, very limited sampling. I mean, you could go to some of the preseason stuff, but I mean that's pretty much all you have to go off of. So you do have to be cautious, but uh, you know, I think you also just have to remember that you're going to play your game. And I think from going from last week's game to this week's game, I think the just that memory for week one just has to be erased because we we don't need to be looking at this game the same way that we looked at the other one, or the way that we're looking at the results of the game versus Texans.
Right. And you can't do that because one game doesn't define who you are. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it can scare the living hell out of you.
Oh,
Like that,
absolutely.
like the run defense is scaring the living hell out of me. And
Yeah.
I really want to know what Gus Bradley has done to change that up to where it doesn't scare me no more. That's my biggest concern. My concern is not with these young cornerbacks. Look what they did against CJ Stroud. He is a damn good quarterback. We've all known it. 90% of Colts Nation was screaming to move up in the draft to get him. They know what he can do.
Yeah.
Our young DBs held him to 260 yards? That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So to me, it's not a young DB issue. To me, the issue coming into this game is that run defense. I did not think it was going to be an issue ever. And I remember on this show before saying, ain't nobody going to run on us. First game proved me wrong on that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a tough pill to swallow because you thought that was like the one unit that was secure, and I think possibly also missing Abucom was probably just like a big blow to that run defense also. But I mean, like I said, it's just like this is, I think you get that game out the way because you know that when you play the Texans again, which inevitably you will,
Yep.
it ends up now being okay. We've seen that you can run the ball. We've seen that you can pass the ball. Now you have to do it again. So now the onus is on you to go ahead and make sure that you're doing everything that you need to do to just basically just play the way that you played the first time where you were successful. Because like I said, for everything that they were able to do and everything that was able to happen, for it to be a game where it was 29-27, that right there just lets you know that they could pull out all the bells and whistles all they want, but for everything that was as flawed as it was, like if Joe Mixon is held to, let's just say, 100 yards instead of 159 yards, you potentially win that game. If the run defense is I'm gonna say, if the run defense is a little bit more solid. But
Okay.
now, like I said, you have to be able to just navigate through making sure that the expectations that you have, or at least it's just like you don't let that taste linger in your mouth for too long. Like I said, the Houston Texans, they know us. They literally, like, we've played them twice a year for the last 20 years.
Right.
So it doesn't matter who's behind center. It doesn't matter who's the coach. These teams are familiar and they know each other, and this is what they're used to. But now you're going into this game where Green Bay, and mind you, I just want to also give a history of Green Bay. Green Bay, it doesn't matter whether it's Malik Willis or Aaron Rodgers or whoever it's been. Generally, we've been successful against Green Bay, even in the LaFleur era. Like the last game that we played where, Quentin Nelson had like, I think, 3 false starts on the same drive.
Yeah, that was a home game too.
Exactly. So, I mean, right now, I'm not looking at this game against Green Bay like, this is going to be crazy. Like, our games normally come down to the wire, but also, we've come down to the wire with Aaron Rodgers with the same secondary when we had Rockets in. Or when we had other guys, like, let's just say back in 2012, I think when we had Vontae Davis, and then I don't think there was anybody after him. So, like I said, I'm not worried about this, and I don't think anybody should be worried. I think it's something that you just say, you know what, we still got to play our game. I'm not completely writing them off. I'm not saying that we're gonna win by 37. I'm not saying that at all. But I am saying that we can't go according to a recency bias to believe that Green Bay is going to be able to and is going to do the exact same thing that Houston
God, I hope not.
did.
That's
No.
be very, 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 very disappointing, man.
Yeah.
Let me bring this question up from Teresa. She goes, I see Josh Downs is in practice. Does he play this week? And if so, do we lose AD Mitchell? Honestly, Teresa, I don't have an actual answer if he's going to play or not. But my suspicion is no. I think they're going to hold him out one more week just to make sure that ankle's right.
Yeah.
But if he does play, I think Mitchell and Pierce does the rotation. If that answers your questions. Yeah, and Adam J made a comment. Packers won 163 yards on 21 attempts versus the Eagles.
Yeah.
Eagles defense is pretty stout, and you doing 163 yards. See, that was my point. They did 163 yards on the Eagles.
So right now, as of right now, mind you, you have Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. They're in the center of that defensive line. Jordan Davis right now is not very well liked in Philly because of the fact that he came in to be that guy who was supposed to be a run stopper, and he's not really stopping the run the way that he's supposed to. So I mean, right now it's just like I'm not going to say that because that would be like a wild thing to say, but it's just like he's starting to give a little bit of Taven Bryan vibes amongst that fan base because, like I said, Jalen Carter has come on in his second year as the guy who's like pretty much just stopping the middle or stuffing the middle, but Jordan Davis hasn't been able to do so. And I think honestly, it's just like Philly having to navigate through that time or through whatever they were doing in regards to trying to figure out their identity now it's just like it was a sloppy game all around. To me personally, I feel like Philly is going to be a team that's going to I feel like they're still going to be good, but I just don't I think the best years that we've seen from Philly are honestly behind them.
Good. Now, Louis says, I mean, we already played 10 yards off the line, so screens are perfect. Love the way that man thinks.
So, and that's the reason why it's just that is as scary as it is because of the fact that screens on a cover 3 is the formula for success for the opposition. And that right there is just like, it's just a really, really scary thought for me because I know if a team can scheme enough of the screens, enough for the short plays, enough for the underneath, if you're scheming basically so that your team can go 15 yards and under, that means that you're potentially putting yourself in a position where you're not just completing, but that means that you're almost marching down the field and you're doing it in a way that's making sure that you're controlling clock. Even the way that Houston did it. I mean, Houston having the amount of time that they had and then only being able to score 29 points in that time is like, it should have been way more. But that's the reason why, like, our offense really did a good job. I think it's just like, even if you look at AR's numbers, like AR's numbers were decent, but if you look at the way that we were able to just get those chunk plays, get those big plays, that's what mattered in those moments. Now, will we be able to do the same against this team? I don't know. I have a feeling that maybe this is, and I think somebody alluded to it, this is the game where JT gets back on track. Because, I mean, honestly, I didn't see anything about Green Bay's, I'm going to say, run defense that gave me cause to believe that they would absolutely just be able to just stop the run altogether. But I think we have to understand that it's just like we really don't know exactly which way this Green Bay's team is going to go now.
Yeah, it would be a little more easier to define a way you think they're going to go if Jordan Love was starting
Yeah. Oh
versus
yeah.
with Malik starting. That really throws a wrench in the plans. Now, this is a good break, Sammy. Let's pay some bills with homage. All right, gentlemen, ladies, you've heard me, you've seen me wear their gear. It is everything that is advertised. On my father's ashes, that is not a lie. So Homage specializes in ultra comfy, high quality looking repping sports, pop culture, and more legendary moments. Learn more about Homage with the link in the description. It's good shit, y'all. Check it out. It is good.
Yeah, no, it's very very comfortable wear, very good stuff. So yes. So now let me ask you this: with this matchup that we have coming up, and I'm not going to say based on what we saw last week. I'm going to say based on the current state of the team, based on what we know. Even let's just say, if for some reason, let's just say if Josh Downs does play, if he does play or he doesn't play, does that change your perception on what could be the perceived outcome of the game in your eyes?
No, I don't think it changes my perception. I think our offense is going to do what our offense is going to do, regardless who's out there.
Okay.
With the cast that AR has around him now, with JT Pittman, everybody's comfortable with Pierce now. They seen, you actually seen what he can do. You get your timing right with AD. He's going to hurt you.
Yep.
So either AD in there, Josh in there, or AD in there, and Alec on the bench. I think they're going to do what they're going to do. I mean, there's just too many weapons there.
Okay.
There is, and Adam J's already putting up there at JT's going to go for 200 yards. Good. I need him to. I got him on several fantasy leagues. So I need more than 10 points from him. Absolutely. I bypassed a lot of people just to get to him because I do think he's going to have a monster year. But,
Yeah.
There was no proof of life last Sunday.
Well, from AD?
No, from JT.
Oh yeah.
And that's not JT's doing. That was play calling. So man, again, we didn't stop the run and we didn't have any run.
Except from AR. AR had the running for us, but
he did.
even that's not a good thing.
No, absolutely not. I don't want him running unless he absolutely has to. That's how he got hurt last year. That's how every quarterback that has legs, like AR, like Justin Hurts, that's how they get hurt. Like Kyler Murray, when they're running out of that pocket or they do the design runs for those quarterbacks, that's when they get hurt. I don't want him hurt.
Yeah.
I don't have nothing against Joe Flacco, but I'm not the biggest Joe Flacco fan. So I don't want to see him out there. I want to see AR. AR's my guy.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think I'm gonna just double back on this. I think we talked about it on Tuesday, but I just don't believe at least it's my belief that the Texans just went out of their way to make sure that they stacked the box against JT and just wanted to make sure that they put the ball in AR's hands for him to throw. Because I mean, honestly, it's just we as a fan base, we regard AR very highly because of the fact that we know that he's a guy who has talent, he has a skill, and he has the intangibles. We know that he was an alien put together in a secret, government building, and he is a guy who's been built from parts of different types of mythical creatures. But the thing is, to other teams, when they view AR as somebody who has the intangibles, who has the ability to do these things, but still has those things about him that still makes him a little bit raw as a quarterback. So when teams go and they're viewing him this way, they're seeing that he, while he has all these great things going for him, if you make him do the one fundamental thing that you look for in a quarterback, they're pretty much daring you to do so because they know that he's not necessarily where he's I'm gonna say supposed to be as of yet. And I mean, we see it because, AR, crazy arm, being able to throw, unbalanced for 65 yards is no small feat. There's guys
None.
who can't stand in the pocket and throw completely square for 65 yards
With no pressure.
without throwing their damn arm out. Like, so
I'm one of those guys.
you and I both, that's
I
fine.
couldn't throw it 10 yards without throwing my arm out.
Listen, I wouldn't even dare right now. Like, it's just like, oh, well, I bet you can't do that. You're damn right I can't. But you know what? That has nothing to do with me. That's not what we're talking about right now. But the thing is, it's, when teams are looking at AR right now, they're looking at AR and they see that he has all these things, but he's not necessarily at that point in his progression and development yet that makes him that threat to kill you every single time. Because I really do believe that if AR is able to stay healthy and he develops properly, that 9-19 game versus Houston is going to turn into a, potentially a 21-24 game for him. And it's going to end up being all these other opportunities that he has, but they just know right now you almost want to dare him to throw because you know exactly what it is. Now that's when, you know, when you have Cooter and Shane Steichen come in, where they can go ahead and mask some of those issues with the accuracy or issues when it comes to the timing and those other things. Because, like I said, it's just like him and AD being off course in that first game. I don't feel like that's going to be the case in the next one. Like, I think we're going to see much better. Like I said, I think that this week is going to be the week that we see him being able to throw AD his first NFL touchdown. Because I mean, there's no way that you see those misses and you don't go back into the lab this week and say, based on what we saw there, we're definitely getting you on the board this week, especially if Josh Downs doesn't play.
Yeah. Hey, Sammy, bring up Louise's comment. This is a good one. Because right now, AR needs more backyard style routes with one guy deep on every play to let them either sell out or stop him running or bombs away. God, I love that.
It's 100%. Like,
yeah, because the NFL has been put on notice now. They know he's got the arm to do it. So are you going to sell it short, or are you going to back off and let him run for 20? Because if you sell it short, you're going to let him throw for 500 yards that game.
I feel like that is the game plan when you have Josh Downs in. Because
send Josh deep.
No. I think Josh you could probably send on intermediate. I think Josh is going to be, to me, it's just like he's going to be more representative of that slot. But with the way that he run routes, he's going to be able to move in and out of that second level with relative ease. Like I'm going to say he'll be pesky for I'm going to say any linebacking group because of the fact that you can't cover him in man. And it's going to be hard to cover him in zone because of how he's able to run those routes. Because honestly, I think he's the one wide receiver I think that we have on this whole entire team that can run the entire route tree. And so being able to do that means that you can exploit on any level. But the thing is, being that he's a smaller guy, you're not necessarily going to try to always hit him deep. So he's going to be a guy that's going to make you exploit the first and second level more often than not. And yes, Teresa, I did mean JBC. I just figured I'd give it a try. It felt dirty. It felt dirty saying that. So yes, he will be JBC from now on. So yes, we yes, that's exactly what it's going to be. Thank you for that reminder. I appreciate you, Teresa.
I think that's horseshit. I think you should say that man's Christian name.
I'll use his Christian abbreviation. I'll use
I'll
his
use,
Christian.
I'll use his Christian name.
Yeah,
Jim Bob Cooter.
sounds like a
Love that name.
sounds like a 70s porn star.
Absolutely.
Oh, see, that's why it's that. Look, that's why I can't do it. I can't do it. Yeah, I refuse.
Wait,
I refuse.
you got something against 70 porn?
Sure. Like, how the hell do you want me to respond to that? Like, how
Honestly,
how do I respond?
I
To
want
that?
you to respond honestly.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Why am I at 255s? Downs will be Julian Edelman in this off season.
In this offense.
Oh shit! I got an Omaha.
Uh-oh.
And Mr. Clyde, if you're up, you should have joined the show. Lazy bum.
Yeah, I mean it's 255. That's not bad. I mean, at least it ain't 3:30. You know.
Yeah. It can always be later.
Yeah, and not just that, but also like, I mean, it's 2:55. What you got to do tomorrow? You got to go to the gym. You're gonna go like doing some like indoor like wakeboarding or something. You just be out there chilling.
Indoor Blake. That was funny.
Yeah, Clyde be out there. He just like listen. The Air Force is sending him out properly. They sent him on a 5-month vacation, and we appreciate you for it.
Ow, that hurt. Clyde.
Yo,
That hurt. That hurt. He says my internet is weaker than Pat's abs.
That's
Okay. First of all, I've got abs, damn it. You just can't see them.
they're protected.
I keep them hidden away from people like you, Clyde. No reason to get you all fired up.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit, but
All right, brother. We running out of time and we still got to do the sick pick. What do you think?
It's time for Sick Picks. Brought to you by DraftKings. The crown is yours.
All right. And for any of you guys that don't know what a sick pick is, this is on the DraftKings app. You are a non-betting individual like myself.
well,
Is
I don't bet because I can't bet.
Well, I can bet. I just don't have the money to do it. But the way they bet nowadays versus the way I used to bet back in the 70s
Yeah.
with my porn stash and all that good stuff.
Oh, that's
It's
why
just-
70s porn got you the way that it did. I see you.
I think so. But the sick pick makes it super, super easy on the DraftKings Sports app. You can just pick one. You don't have to parlay nothing. You don't have to take any over-unders. You don't have to do anything like that. You don't have to make sure anybody's covering the spread. You can just pick a play. You can pick Anthony Richardson anytime touchdown. Jonathan Taylor for over 100 yards. That's one thing. You can place that bet. You can win. DraftKings makes it super easy for you for as non-betting individuals.
Yeah.
So if you got an extra $5-10, you want to throw it on one pick, do it. There you go.
Yeah.
Now, don't take none of this as investment advice. This is purely recreational advice only.
Recreational as ever.
Definitely. Had to put the say that damn word for me.
Legality.
Thank you. In there so nobody can sue us and say, hey, they told us to bet it was a sure thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. No. More often than not, I'm just trying. Okay, I will never give you advice on what I believe. I will give you my advice, and I will always hit you with disclaimer. But don't take what I'm saying, as gospel. I'm just saying it because this is what I know. So when I tell you about football stuff, I know that. Now for me, I do feel like this we will absolutely win this game.
Okay.
What do you have this final score being?
Believe it or not, I do believe, even with Malik Willis as their starting quarterback, I do believe it's going to be a close game again.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm going to go 31-27.
Okay. I will I'm gonna say I got us winning this one 27-17.
Okay. Now, I do have a question for
Yes.
you. You know, we stole you from the horseshoe mob.
Okay.
Actually, we put a bag over his head, picked him up in a dark van, and stole him,
Kidnapped.
kidnapped him. But before we did that, we had an agreement with the horseshoe mob that this pod was going to battle their pod in a fantasy league.
Yes.
Did you write down all the scores yet? Because I have not.
So actually, I have it right here from week one, and to let it be known, right now we have okay. So let's go winners of week one. Winners of week one.
Well, individual winners don't matter.
Well, yeah, yeah. So as far as the scores went, and like I said, just let me go into here. So I think we actually had the higher overall score. I can go ahead and just tabulate that really quickly. I like using words like tabulate every now and then.
That is a nice word.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Glad I could put you on game every now and then, you know.
That's what you're here for, brother.
Exactly. You're welcome. You are welcome.
Now, I got another Omaha from Clyde for saying kidnap a black man.
Well, okay.
If Clyde's got his little button overseas, he's sitting there hitting it hard right now. Omaha.
Yeah, because that right there is like that is a wild piece of information. So yes, 542.64. All right, hold on. I'm formulating and tabulating.
Did that come through?
Do I? Oh no.
It didn't. Dadgum, I don't know what's going on with that. Because I bought a little button machine myself, but I cannot get it tied in right to where the sound effects come through the StreamYard. So I guess I got to hire a computer person to get me straight.
All right. So after week one, and mind you, I'm still rocking with Horseshoe Mob because I drafted with them. That's my team. So Horseshoe Mob scored a total of 542.64 on week one. Anvil scored a total of 527.92.
All right.
So Horseshoe Mob, they are in the lead after week one by a narrow margin of 15 points. So yeah, that will absolutely that'll be that for that week. And by the way, number one score for week one, your boy.
Oh Lord.
Oh yeah. See, Pat, you see, there's a big difference between when I draft my team and when I don't.
Well, now that you're with the Anvil, you might have to take one for the team, buddy.
Hey, listen, I'm not going to be saying stuff whether I lose one way or another. You're not going to box me into anything, okay? Listen, we did exactly what we did when we did it, okay? Listen, we are announcing this right now, so this way you know exactly what it is. So yes,
it's not a problem, man. You said you still rock with the horseshoe, so do we.
Yes, absolutely.
Although we was able to pull you from those guys, they still have their show. It's still killer. Josh Senior's doing a great job over there. Harish is doing his part. I forgot the other guy's name. Austin. That's it. Yeah. So if you get a chance and you want more Colts content, check them out. They're a great group of guys. And, like the Anvil, we're from all over. So is the Horseshoe Mob. And whenever they come into town, we always take care of them. We always try to take care of them.
Yeah.
Last time Josh was in town, I kind of overslept.
Hey, listen, you're a busy spud, so
there you go. All right, my friend, you got anything else?
Not, I mean, other than that, listen, it's like I said, we are a team that is operating week to week. So let's just make sure that we just go into this game, not trying to think that the Packers are going to operate the way that the Texans did. And I mean, like I said, just be ready for a good game again.
All right, I'm ready. I'm ready for Gus Bradley to be able to adjust his schemes as the game goes on and not stay locked in and only change it at halftime. If you change it, it ain't working. Gus, by God, change it back. Please, you're driving me nuts.
I don't want to be the guy. Maybe he will. We'll see.
Let's hope and pray.
Yes, we will absolutely hope and pray. But yes. So in the meantime, you'll be able to catch us next Tuesday, same bat time, same bat place. So with that being said, guys, we will see you next week. And Jimmy, go ahead, take us out.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Anvil Show on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.